Hello everyone, what's going on? Welcome back to the latest 4K review from us here at FlickDirect, and for today's 4K review, I'm here to talk to you all about Roman Holiday, the 70th Anniversary Edition. Roman Holiday is a romantic comedy that came out back in 1953, and the film stars Audrey Hepburn and Gregory Peck, as the film follows a princess portrayed by Audrey Hepburn who meets and falls in love with an American newsman portrayed by Gregory Peck in, well, Rome. Roman Holiday was one of those classics that I had never even heard before I saw it for the first time. I mean, don't get me wrong to you guys. I am fully aware of Audrey Hepburn and I'm fully aware of Gregory Peck. I mean, Gregory Peck, at least in my eyes, gave the greatest performance of all time in To Kill a Mockingbird. This was just one of those movies that I had never heard of at all, although when I did some research on it, I had found out how much of a beloved classic it was in terms of a romantic film, in terms of romantic comedy, and after finally watching the film, I completely understand why, because this movie is a bona fide classic for a reason. Roman Holiday, to say the least, it's not only such a great romantic film, but it's also a very, very funny film, and on top of that, Roman Holiday not only features, fun fact for you, Audrey Hepburn's first performance when I looked up, and she gave a phenomenal performance, I believe her first win for Best Actress in a Leading Role. That's, by the way, absolutely crazy. It also features Gregory Peck's one of his best roles, absolutely. But also, Audrey Hepburn and Gregory Peck have amazing chemistry together, and seeing the two of them falling in love as they're going and exploring through them, which, by the way, fun fact, the film was actually shot in Rome, which is absolutely incredible. This is such a brilliant film. It's a very funny film, but it's also a timeless classic that has held up for generations for a reason. But for 70 years, man, this movie is a delightful movie, absolutely. Getting into the audio and video quality, starting off with the video quality, Roman Holiday in 4K is presented on an aspect ratio of 137:1. Before I continue on, and just to clarify, I had not seen the film before, and like I mentioned you guys earlier, so I couldn't tell the film looked like on Blu-ray or on VHS or DVD for that matter, because this is my first time watching the film in the 4K format. What I can say is in the 4K format, the film looks quite good. In fact, it looks terrific at times. For an old film like this being transferred to 4K, as you guys can imagine, there's only so much that a transfer can do when you're upgrading and you're transferring the essentially like a Blu-ray to a 4K visual. The film is shot in black and white, so there's really not much of an HDR grade, but the contrast of black and white here does look fantastic. The image quality, I would say for the most part, looks fantastic. Now, like I mentioned to you guys earlier, there's only so much you can do in terms of sharpening it to the point where it doesn't feel too artificial, and there are a few times when that artificial feel does kind of get in the way, and there are times when the images don't look as sharp as they could, but nonetheless, I do feel like that for the most part, this is a great looking 4K, and I feel like those of you who have seen this movie in Blu-ray, I feel like that what they have done here and transfers the 4K format is just good, if not, it is just great enough. Going on to the audio quality, Roman Holiday is on a Mono 2.0 track, and the track does the job. It is a great sounding track. This movie is dialogue driven, and for the 2.0 track, it gets the job done. Everything sounds great coming from the several channels. Dialogue sounds crystal clear. The film's original score does sound terrific, and the ambiance of Rome sounds absolutely incredible for this 2.0 track, and not to mention it as well, when it comes to other certain more exciting things that happen in Roman Holiday, everything sounds great in this 2.0 track. For the 2.0 mono track, it sounds terrific and it does get the job done. Absolutely. Finally, moving on to the special features, Roman Holiday on 4K comes with a lot of featurettes, and just to give you guys a couple of examples, there's one featurette called Filmmaker Focus, which is Leonard Maltin on the film, which was a really interesting featurette. There's two featurettes on Audrey Hepburn, one in particular called Remembering Audrey. This is such a well done and a heartfelt tribute to one of the greatest actresses ever. There's a great featurette called Paramount in the 50s. Almost forgot to mention one more. There's a featurette on Dalton Trumbo, you know, the screener that got blacklisted. This is one that you need to watch, especially for any screenwriters out there. This is very interesting. I highly suggest you check it out. And there's more. All in all, what we have here is just a classic in every sense of the word that includes great video quality, great audio quality with some awesome and very interesting featurettes. So simply put, guys, if you're a massive fan of this movie, or if you haven't seen this movie yet, either way, check out the film. It is a bona fide classic for a reason. I hope you all enjoyed my review of Roman Holiday in 4K. If so, please hit that like button, also share, and don't forget the subscribe button and the notification bell for the latest 4K review goes live. If you guys want to see any of our previous 2 4K reviews, please click it right there or right there. And of course, until our next 4K review goes live, we'll see you all next time. Have a wonderful day, guys.
Hit like, smash subscribe, and get notified for when our reviews, interviews, and news go live.